Alright, how's your intermission? Get some snacks?
Yes.
Went to the bathroom? How'd that work out for you? Everything come out okay? Alright, coming up next, guys, we have a little change of pace. The next performer is an HHS alum and the winner of the 2007 New Jersey Comedy Festival, where he beat out over 30 other finalists. After graduating from the College of New Jersey last year, he has chosen to become a full-time stand-up comedian. He is also extremely sexy and awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for me. Alright, so let's get into this. Let's get intimate right now. This is fun. I feel comfortable with you guys. I feel at ease, and that's why I want to let you guys in a little secret that none of you know about me. I used to be a fat ass. I'm not kidding, like legitimately, like borderline obese when I was younger. And like it's not that big a deal, you know, I didn't get made fun of that much as a kid, but I always felt bad for my parents because they had to spend a lot of money on food. I remember it was hard times for local buffet owners growing up. And the thing that really sucks about being a fat kid is that you're just not as adventurous as everybody else, you know? All the other like literally cool like athletic kids are doing all this crazy stuff and you're just kind of sitting there as your big blob like on the couch. And I'd go to I hated amusement parks. You know, we go to Six Flags. I'd be there with my little friend Timmy or whatever. We get on online, go on the roller coaster, and you know, Timmy's sitting there. He's 8 years old, 85 pounds. I'm there, 8 years old, like a $1.90, and they would put the shoulder harness down on Tim, and it'd be like click, 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 click. Come over to me, click. I tell you, I'm not that comfortable with the idea that there's only one click preventing my fat ass from flying at 70 miles per hour into this amusement park. But I got over it, you know, and I got older. I thought, you know, I went to middle school, got to high school. I was like, yeah, I'll grow out of this. It's just a phase. But I just kept getting fatter for some reason. And I still played sports, though. I was fairly athletic. I remember freshman year, here was the first time I ever ran a 42-minute mile. So I was pretty proud of that. And I actually did play tennis here. I played tennis all 4 years, and I made JV my freshman year. I was really excited. The reason I made the team was because the kid who made it before me, I actually ate him. So that was, and I played doubles. I played fifth doubles by myself. Apparently there's a rule in New Jersey high school tennis, there's a weight limit on one side of the court. So I would have been exceeding if they'd given me a partner. But obviously, you know, I got over it. I lost a lot of weight, and I'm kind of the current like shape and size I'm at. I've been here for a while, and it was cool because like it happened over the course of one spring and summer. And I got to come back to school like I think it was like my junior year or something. And everyone's like, oh my God, you look so great. But for me, I was most excited about the fact that I felt like I had a brand new wardrobe because I could once again fit into things that I wore in second grade. The only problem was I really didn't want to wear Power Rangers or Tailspin shirts. And my Batman pajama pants fit more like man capris, which is just not a good look. But I have a pretty good life now, obviously. You know, I'm a stand-up comedian, that's what I do full time. But like when I was in school, I just graduated from college last year, and especially when I was in high school, I don't know if you're like me, I would just go through periods, like stretches of like really crappy days. Like you ever just have a week where like every day sucks, you know? And sometimes it's not even for specific reasons, but for me, I notice these days always kind of seem to go in the same way. Like first of all, right off the bat, something ominous is always going to happen in the bathroom. Like maybe guys, we get up, we're kind of groggy and disoriented, we don't quite line ourselves up and we miss the bowl completely, which even when you're by yourself is very embarrassing. It's the same empty feeling you get when you miss the last note in a Guitar Hero song. You're like, ah, damn it. So you take care of that situation, you clean that up, and now you're heading out into the world. And this was always a big problem for me when I was in school, because I lived in the dorms. On a day like this, I would always have that really awkward elevator silence, where nobody on the elevator would say anything, even though like we knew each other, which I hate. Like I'm very uncomfortable with awkward silences. So what I would do, and feel free to try this, you know, next time you're on an elevator, is I would just throw out like a really controversial topic and see if I could get some debate started. Like I'd just be standing there, and I'd look around and be like, gay marriage, and then I just wouldn't say anything else. Or I'd wait till the elevator got all the way to the bottom and be like, abortion, and then just run away. And it really works pretty well. But if you think that's a little too risky, I would suggest lining your pockets with Snapple caps, and then at the opportune moment, just take one out and be like, hey guys, I don't know if you know this, but giraffes don't have vocal cords. Something like that usually works pretty well. So now you're heading to class or whatever, out into the world, and what's going to happen is you're going to run into one of two obstacles, all right? You're either going to have the huge caravan of slow-moving people in the hall that you can't seem to get around, or you're going to have my favorite, the one-on-one encounter, where you spot somebody from like 50 yards away, but neither of you planned how you're going to get around the other one, You have to do that little, like this Adrian Peterson juke move to get past him. So at this point, you're basically power walking to class. And I'll tell you why you're power walking. It's because nobody wants to be that kid who is running to class with a backpack on. Now, I know you're like me. I know every time you see some idiot frantically sprinting to class with his backpack on, you're like, I may be late, but at least I don't look like a jackass. Because what you have to realize is there's only one way you can look more ridiculous than running with a backpack, and that is running with a backpack on wheels. I don't understand how that's like a good way to carry yourself around. Like, unless you're in an airport or you have like really serious back problems, that's just not an acceptable way to carry your crap around. So at this point you get to class and you're late, which always sucks, but sometimes I'd rather be late than early, because I at least get to avoid this situation, which I'm sure has happened to some of you. You get to class early and the door to your classroom is not even unlocked, and even though you're standing there waiting to get in, everybody else from your class has to check the door also, as if you weren't like smart enough to have thought of that in the first place. They always give you that look, like that incredulous, disbelieving look, like, can you believe this? Did you know about this too? You stand there and you're like, yeah, I was actually locked the last 35 times, someone checked it. So you're sitting in class now, and if you get bored, I was a good student, I paid attention, but sometimes I would like to mess with the teachers if I had a teacher who I didn't like too much. So you know how when a phone is on vibrate and it makes that like vibrating noise, it's like more disruptive than if the actual ringtone had been on? Like humming noise. I used to just like sit in the last row and just make that noise. Like really like secretively. I'd just be sitting there like looking at my book or my watch, be like, And eventually the teacher's gonna stop and figure out what the deal is, but the way you have to set it up is that you have to have one of your boys sitting with you in the same row doing the same thing like 2 seats over. So then your teacher's like, Adam, are you making that noise? Be like, no, I don't know. See? So, at this point you're walking back from class, right? You're walking through the halls, wherever you're going, and in the distance you're gonna hear laughter, all right? And you're gonna keep walking, and all of a sudden you're gonna look up, and right in front of you is going to be the ugliest group of people you have ever seen having a really, really good day. Just a great time, they're laughing, they're smiling at each other, and for whatever reason on this day, this is gonna piss the hell out of you. You're gonna be like, what is this? Why are you happy? Look, why are you smiling right now? Look at me, I'm attractive and I'm having a bad day. What right do you have? And it sounds so mean, but the thing is, like, the worst part of this group is that the ugliest person out of the entire group of uglies, and let me just clarify here, I don't mean your average people who you're like, I mean like Twilight Zone, not fully evolved Bowser from Mario Kart types of individuals. And the ugliest one in the entire group is inevitably going to be wearing a t-shirt with a slogan on it about how attractive they are. Something like out of your league, or I taste like candy, or I'm bringing sexy back. And you stand there and you're like, no, you're not. No, take that shirt off. And then you're like, actually leave it on, because And the thing is, I'm not even trying to be mean. Like, this is coming from a former fat kid, but I'm just saying, like, I don't have a problem with slogan t-shirts, but just wear something that's true. You know, like, you wouldn't have seen me 5 years ago with a shirt that said, hey ladies, if I lift up my shirt, you're gonna like what you see, because that wasn't the case. Just like I'm not up here now with a shirt that says, I have man boobs, because I don't anymore. But actually, kind of funny shirt to wear around. So let me ask you guys, I know you're a fairly young crowd, but how do you feel about this whole healthcare thing? Do you like Obama? Are we pro-Obama crowd here? Clap for okay, we got kind of a mixed crowd. Now, for me, he's not perfect, obviously, Obama, but like, he gets a lot of criticism, and I guess the question I'm asking myself is like, did we just completely forget about what the previous 8 years were like? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not the biggest Bush fan, but I think of all the lives that George Bush screwed up, I personally feel the worst for whoever his speechwriter was, just because that's like a really unreasonable job. Like, this is a guy who literally once said, rarely is the question asked, is our children learning? I'll let you think about that for a second. But I love the fact that we have a president now who, for better or worse, can make everything he says sound incredibly cool. Like, that's a pretty awesome talent. You know, I would love to write Obama speeches. Think about that. You could just go out and get drunk the night before, come back in the next morning with President Obama. I know you need that speech, but I blacked out last night again. And I've got nothing for you, but here's a Dr. Seuss book that I happen to have. Why just take that up to the podium and read it, I'm sure it's still going to sound amazing. And the disturbing thing is, I think it actually would. Like, can you imagine him up there on the podium looking all nice in the suit, opens up the Dr. Seuss book. Now, look, let me be clear. Let's be clear. Whether one fish or two fish, whether red fish or blue fish, we are the united fish. Sound good. Thank you. Thank you so much.